Hi guys, I wanted to go ahead and make a really quick video explaining to you guys sort of our living situation, where Aaron is, why I mentioned in my other video that I was on my own with the two kids, and kind of everything that's going on. So we will backtrack. When we lived in Minnesota a couple months ago, we decided that we were probably going to try to move back to the state that we used to live, which is Texas. We used to live there when we first got married, before Desiree was born. We decided that we wanted to probably try to move back because things weren't working out too well in Minnesota. That is where all of our family is, but as far as financially, me and Aaron had already made an agreement a long time ago that while the kids were little, we thought it was best that I stay home with them and that they're just raised by me and in the way that we want them to be. And don't get me wrong, daycare is completely fine. I have nothing against daycare at all. It's just, if it was at all possible, we thought the very best thing for our kids would be for me to stay at home with them while they are babies. So it was just Aaron working in Minnesota. So he was the only one bringing in money, and he worked very, very hard for us. But it was tight every month. And it's not that we didn't have the money to pay our bills, but it was just at the end of every month, it was kind of like, okay, we paid the bills, now it's gone. And next month was the same thing. And he was working, 12, 13-hour days, spending so much time at work. And to be spending that much time at work and then have basically nothing left over at the end of the month to show for it, that's a hard thing, especially for a lot of guys who like to be providers for their family. It's a hard thing to not have much left over at the end of the month. So it's not that we couldn't make it up there, it's just that our lives could be more comfortable than they were. We had a really nice place to live, and that is that and family is what was keeping us up there. But once we found out that the rent we had been giving to our landlord, that she was supposed to be making her house payment with, had not been going to that, and that the house we were living in was in foreclosure, we kind of figured, okay, that was one of the two things that was keeping us up here, was that we absolutely loved our house. And now we're not going to have it anymore, and we're going to need to find a new place to live. So now that we have to look for a new place to live anyways, do we want to look for another place up here, or since we're already moving, do we want to just bite the bullet and move back down to Texas where he could get either the same job or a similar job that he had before that would make us a lot more comfortable? So we talked about it a lot. It was a big discussion because of course it's hard to leave family. His mom and her husband live up there. My mom and her husband live there. His brother and his brother's wife and their kids all lived really close to us. My sister lives there, and grandparents and all sorts of things. So it was a tough decision. Of course, we didn't want to move our kids away from their grandparents or their aunts and uncles, but at the end of the day, if you're in the same situation where you want to move but you don't want to necessarily move your kids away from family, you have to think about what's absolutely best for your kids. And of course it was good for our kids to be around their extended family, but at the end of the day, what really mattered most was our family that we've started to make, which is me and Aaron and Waylon and Desiree, and that's what we had to consider first and foremost. So we thought it would definitely put us in a better situation to move and to have a little more financial freedom being down here. And also I've been wanting to go back to school, and it's a really hard situation because if we were still in Minnesota, Aaron would be working, and if I wanted to go back to school, we would not have money to pay anybody to watch the kids, and it would just be really hectic. So the opportunity for me to go back to school in Minnesota just wasn't there, just for the simple fact that we wouldn't have any extra money to be paying somebody to watch the kids while I went to school if I wasn't bringing in any money from that. And it was also starting to get to the point that it was really tight, and it was a possibility that I was feeling like I should probably go out and get a job so that it wasn't so tight at the end of the month, which would eliminate the possibility of me going back to school as well. So anyways, we decided to move to Texas. And when we decide to do things, we do them fast. That's how we've always been. We decided to get married and we got married fast. Everything in our lives has always gone fast. We've moved across country before, and it's like once we decide to do it, we're not waiting, we're just doing it. So we did decide that we were moving, and then we found out that we had to go ahead and get out of our house that we were living in. This was during the time that I posted the video that I had pneumonia. This was like the day after that we found out we had to leave anyhow. So we got all our things packed up, and what actually happened, because we did not have a place set up down here, and I was nervous about bringing Desiree down without a place set up, because it meant we would have to probably stay in a hotel until we found somewhere, and a toddler in a hotel would not be fun. So Aaron decided that he was going to come down alone and set up a job and set up a place for us. And I was going to stay with my mom during that time, and once he had everything set up, then me and Desiree would go ahead and move down here. So Aaron came down, he found a great job. It's not his old job, but it's very similar. It's a different company, but it's a similar type job, and it's exactly what we were looking for. So he found that, and then I was online looking at houses, apartments, condos, townhouses, all sorts of things, trying to figure out what we were going to move into. Aaron actually ended up finding the place that we live all on his own and got everything set up for us. So once that was done, me and Desiree came ahead and moved down here on our own. The part about Aaron's job that is different than any other job that he's worked before is that it's an out-of-town job. He's never worked an out-of-town job before. He's always been home every night, or if he's worked overnights, he's always been home every morning, whatever. He's always been home. So the part about this job is that it is an out-of-town job. Sometimes he is 2 hours out of town. Sometimes he, like right now, is like 6.5 hours out of town, and it could be even farther than that. So what his schedule is like is that he works 15 days straight, no days off, just bam, 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 15 days out of town work, and then he gets 6 days off to come home and not work at all. So that is the schedule that he has right now. Is it ideal? Probably not, especially with being out of town, but there are positives to it, so we're choosing to focus on the positives. This isn't a job that he plans on keeping forever. This is a great stepping stone to keep us afloat while I get some school done, while our kids are little and I'm not working, to help us save some money. We don't really have a ton of debt or anything like that. I mean, very minimal things, but this will just help us save money. Hopefully one day we'll be able to buy our own house. And so that is what his schedule is like. So for 15 days straight, it is just me and the 2 kids. And then for 6 days straight, Aaron gets to come home and we have like a little mini vacation, because I mean 6 days without work is awesome. So the downfalls of it, there are definitely downfalls. It is extremely hard, and I miss him a lot when he's gone. The hardest part is not taking care of the kids on my own. They're very good. I feel like it's pretty easy, fairly easy to take care of them on my own, and I don't ever ask Aaron for a lot of help when it comes to taking care of them. Of course, he's willing to help me, but I kind of am the type of person that does everything on my own. So that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is just missing him, and also seeing Desiree miss him, because she is to that age where she asks for him, she cries for him at night, and it breaks my heart. But I know that in the end, we are doing the best thing for our kids right now, because we're going to be more financially stable in the future, because as young parents, it's hard. So it's rough on me and Aaron's relationship, not being able to see each other, and also hardly being able to talk to each other. He can't talk when he's at work. The location that they're working on, it doesn't have cell phone service, and even if it did, he can't use his cell phone out there. The hours that he's working are insane. You guys probably would not believe it unless your husband or boyfriend or a family member has worked in that same industry before, but he's working like 16 or 17 hours every day straight for 15 days straight. So once he's not working, I mean, if you work 17 hours, once you get off, you pretty much want to shower, eat something, and go straight to sleep. And I totally understand that, because I was a medical assistant and I used to work in nursing homes and things like that. And when I would work overnight or anything like that, I completely understand what it's like. When you're tired and you're overworked, you want to go home, you want to take a shower, go to sleep, and that's all. So we don't have a lot of time to talk because, of course, I don't expect him to call me and sacrifice his sleep just to talk to me. So we talk every once in a while, but not as much as I'd like, but I can understand that. We had to kind of put our selfishness of our relationship and spending time together aside for the better of our kids, because right now the way that it works in our family and the way that we see it is that it's Aaron's job right now to provide financially for the kids, and it's my job right now to kind of provide emotionally for them and take care of them and give them a sense of security. So, that all being said, there are positives to it. It does bring about a lot more income than we were making and frees us up a little more to where we don't have to be so much of a penny pincher. I'm a total budget person. I save money left and right. But we're choosing to not live on our full income that we're making down here, more like live on about half of it. So that money can be saved, and hopefully we can buy our own home soon and put away money for college for our kids and everything like that. So that is that. I know some of you guys heard me say that I was all alone with the 2 kids and thought that maybe me and Aaron weren't together anymore. We are together. I'm telling you, we've gone through a lot of hard stuff since we've been married for nearly 3 years, and we were really young when we got married, and we're still really young, but we've gone through so much stuff together, good and bad, that we're always going to be together. You guys don't ever have to worry about that. So yes, we are still together. He is just out working, and he will be back this coming up Wednesday, so I'm super excited. Some other positives is just that you really realize that you miss somebody once they're gone. And it's not that I ever took Aaron for granted or thought I wouldn't miss him or anything like that, but once he's been gone, I'm so excited to see him when he comes back. And it's a cool feeling to get that excited to see somebody once you've been married for close to 3 years and some of that beginningness has started to fade. That's still a cool feeling to know that you get that excited and that he gets really excited to come home and see me and everything like that. So that's another plus side to it, and it really makes you appreciate the time that you have together and make the most of it. When he has his week off and we're together, you guys probably won't see a lot of videos from me until right when he goes back, and then I'll start posting again. But because we put the cell phones away, we put the computers away, we just spend time together. And it's hard sometimes because people are calling, family's calling to see how we're doing, or we want to go on the computer and do whatever. But it's so much more important just to spend quality family time together, to go out and do things that we enjoy and spend time together. So that's another plus of it, and we're just taking it for what it is right now and choosing to focus on the positives of it. It's definitely hard. It probably wouldn't be a decision that everyone would be able to make, to let their husband go out of town for over 2 weeks at a time, but it's a decision that I put a lot of thought into, and I know that we're doing the best thing for our kids right now, and that this isn't going to be forever. It's just for now. So that is kind of our living situation. I thank you guys for all your supportive comments. It's really, really nice to hear some supportive comments when I'm on my own. It's super nice of you guys. So thank you so much for your support, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!